Jain children, welcome to chemistry class. Today we study the portions related to the chapter electrochemistry. Our topic is the conductance of electrolytic solutions. First term, resistance. You know, resistance is the opposition of free flow of electricity. Then, the electrical resistance of any object is directly proportional to its length and inversely proportional to its area of cross section A. Then we can write resistance R is directly proportional to its length and inversely proportional to its area of cross section A, that is R is proportional to L by A. Or for removing this proportionality multiplied by a constant, here the constant is known as rho. Rho is known as resistivity or specific resistance. Then we can write R is equal to rho into L by A. Then when L is in 1 meter and A is in 1 meter square, then R is equal to rho. When L is in 1 meter and A is in 1 meter square, then R is equal to rho. Then rho or resistivity can be defined as the resistance when L is in 1 meter and A is in 1 meter square, or otherwise length is in 1 meter and A is in 1 meter square. This is taken as unit volume. Length into breadth into height is volume. So length into area is also considered as volume. So all values are in unity, so we can write resistivity is defined as the resistance of unit volume of the material, or resistivity is defined as the resistance when L is in 1 meter and A is in 1 meter square. Okay, SI unit of this resistivity is, we can find out, we know that R is equal to rho into L by A. Then we can write rho is equal to R into A by L. Then R resistance, the unit is ohm. Then A is equal to meter square and L is in meter. Then meter and meter square become cancelled. Then we can write ohm meter. The unit of rho is ohm meter. The unit of rho is ohm meter. Okay. Then next one is the conductance. Conductance G. The inverse of the resistance is known as conductance. The inverse of resistance is known as conductance. Then G is equal to inverse of resistance. We can write 1 by R. Then we know that R is equal to rho into L by A. Then we can write here, instead of R, rho into L by A goes to the numerator. Then we can write 1 by rho into A by L. Instead of this 1 by rho, we can written as kappa K. That is, in Greek word, this is known as kappa, that is K into A by L. So G is equal to K into A by L, where K is known as the conductivity or specific conductance. Conductivity or specific conductance. Then the SI unit of this conductance is Siemens, indicated by the letter S, or equal to, conductance is the inverse of resistance, so ohm inverse or mho inverse. This can be written, OOHM can be inversely written as MHO or ohm inverse. The inverse of this resistivity is called conductivity. This is resistivity, the inverse is known as conductivity or specific conductance. We know that G is equal to K into A by L, where G is the conductance, K is the conductivity, A is the area of cross section, L is length of the material. Then we can write from this equation K as K is equal to G into L by A. L is in 1 meter and A is in 1 meter square, then K is equal to G. Conductivity is defined as the conductance when L is in 1 meter and A is in 1 meter square. Or otherwise we can define as conductivity is the conductance of unit volume of the material. Here L is in 1 meter, A is in 1 meter square considered as unit volume. So conductivity is defined as the conductance of unit volume of the material. Then we can find out the unit of this conductivity. We know that K is equal to G into L by A. Then unit of conductance is Siemens. Then length is meter divided by A is unit of A is meter square. Then the meter and meter square become cancelled. Then Siemens meter raised to minus 1. So this is the unit of K. Conductivity. The unit of conductivity is Siemens meter raised to minus 1. Okay. Then here you can see K is equal to G into L by A. For a particular cell, this L by A is a constant. This L by A is a constant. So this L by A is known as cell constant denoted by the symbol G star. Cell constant denoted by the symbol G star. G star is equal to L by A. Okay. Next our term is molar conductivity denoted by the symbol lambda m. Molar conductivity lambda m. So it is the conductance of 1 mole of an electrolyte. Molar conductivity is the conductance of 1 mole of an electrolyte. So lambda m can be written as lambda m is equal to K into V, where K is the conductivity, V is the volume of solution. Or we know that lambda m is equal to, K into V. Then we know that molarity is equal to number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liters, that is V by 1000 goes to the numerator. Then here the molar conductivity is the conductance of 1 mole of an electrolyte. So here N is equal to 1. So this N become 1. Then molarity is equal to 1 by V into 1000. So from this equation we can written as V is equal to 1000 divided by M. Substitute the value of V in the above equation, then we get lambda m is equal to K into, instead of V we can substitute the value 1000 divided by M, where M is the molarity. So lambda m is equal to K into 1000 divided by M, where lambda m is the molar conductivity, K is the conductivity, M is the molarity of the solution. So lambda m is equal to K into 1000 divided by M. Next, our portion is the variation of conductivity and molar conductivity with concentration. This is an important area. So, in the case of conductivity and molar conductivity, what happened on decrease in concentration or dilution? So, in the case of strong and weak electrolytes, the conductivity decreases on dilution. Then what do you mean by strong and weak electrolytes? Strong electrolytes means these are completely ionized in solution. Example NaCl, KCl, etc. But in the case of weak electrolyte, they are partially ionized in solution. Example acetic acid. But in the case of both strong and weak electrolytes, the molar conductivity increases on dilution or decrease in concentration. So these can be easily explained with the help of an example. We consider NaCl as example. In the case of NaCl, a small amount consists of a large number of particles. But here, for our convenience, we consider only 4 Na plus ions and 4 Cl minus ions. So, the total number of ions become 8. Now, I added some water to it. Means, the solution is diluted. Then, the level of solution changed. The volume of solution increases, but the number of ions remains the same. These ions can easily move in the solution because they are far apart from each other. We know that lambda m is equal to K into V. Here, the total volume of the solution increases, so the molar conductivity also increases. So, in the case of molar conductivity increases on dilution because the volume of solution increases. But in the case of conductivity, it is the conductance of unit volume of the material, not the point. It is the conductance of unit volume of the material. Here the material is ions, Na plus and Cl minus ions. Then here on dilution, the number of ions remains constant, but here we consider the unit volume. Then the unit volume considered, then here unit volume contains 2 Na plus and 2 Cl minus ions, which on dilution, then the volume of the solution increases, then the number of ions remains the same, but the mobility of ions increases. So, in unit volume, the number of ions decreases. Here we can see the unit volume which consists of only one ion. So, the number of ions per unit volume decreases. So, the conductivity also decreases. So, in the case of conductivity, decreases on dilution because the number of ions per unit volume decreases on dilution. Clear? Therefore, we can conclude that in the case of both strong and weak electrolytes, the conductivity decreases on dilution, but in the case of molar conductivity, it increases on dilution. Clear? Limiting molar conductivity. What do you mean by molar conductivity? It is the conductance of 1 mole of an electrolyte. It increases with dilution. Then on dilution, the concentration decreases. Then we dilute it to the maximum value. Then the concentration approaches to 0. Then at that time, the molar conductivity is known as limiting molar conductivity. Limiting molar conductivity is defined as the molar conductivity when concentration approaches to 0. Clear? Then the variation of this molar conductivity with concentration of strong and weak electrolyte. It varies for strong and weak electrolyte, this lambda m against concentration of solution. So, first we will discuss about the concentration and lambda m value for strong electrolyte. In the case of, in this y-axis we plotted lambda m. Lambda m means molar conductivity. X-axis it is root C. Then C means concentration of solution. Then in the case of strong electrolyte, we get a straight line graph. For example, KCl, NaCl, etc. We get a straight line graph. Then on extrapolating this graph on y-axis, then it touches to this point. This point is known as lambda m0 or limiting molar conductivity. This is the maximum value of molar conductivity, that is known as limiting molar conductivity then at that time the concentration become zero concentration. X-axis the concentration, so here the concentration approaches to zero. This is known as limiting molar conductivity. So from this graph we can find out the limiting molar conductivity of strong electrolyte, because it is a straight line. On extrapolating then touches to y-axis, that is the value lambda m 0. But in the case of weak electrolyte, it is not a straight line graph. It is a curved graph. So, on extrapolating this graph, it cannot touches to the y-axis. So, the lambda m 0 cannot be calculated from the graphical representation. So, next we move on to the Kohlrausch's law of independent migration of ions. From this, we can calculate the lambda m 0, limiting molar conductivity lambda m 0 for weak electrolyte. This Kohlrausch's law is very important for the board exam point of view. In the case of strong electrolytes, this molar conductivity increases so slowly on dilution. So you can see in the graphical representation it increases slowly on dilution. Then it can be represented, this is a straight line graph in the case of strong electrolyte. So it can be represented as an equation lambda m is equal to lambda m 0 minus A into root C, where lambda m is the molar conductivity, lambda m 0 is the limiting molar conductivity, A is a constant which depends on the nature of electrolyte, C is the concentration of solution. This is equation of straight line. Y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c. Here y is lambda m y-axis, x is root c. Then here the slope m is equal to minus a and the intercept c is equal to lambda m 0. Intercept c is equal to lambda m 0. This equation is known as d by Huckel-Onsager equation. Lambda m is equal to lambda m 0 minus a root c. Okay. So we already say in the case of weak electrolyte, the molar conductivity increases on dilution because the degree of dissociation increases on dilution. So the lambda m also increases. But from the graph, the lambda m 0 value, that is limiting molar conductivity, cannot be determined. So we next move on to the another law, Kohlrausch's law of independent migration of ions. This is an important one as for board exam. Kohlrausch's law of independent migration of ions. The law states that the limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte is equal to the sum of individual contributions of the anion and cation of the electrolyte. So, we can explain with the help of an example. In the case of NaCl, lambda m 0 of NaCl can be written as, NaCl consists of Na plus and Cl minus ions. So, we can write lambda m 0 of NaCl is equal to lambda 0 of Na plus sum of lambda 0 of Cl minus. Listen, the limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte is equal to the sum of individual contributions of its cations and anions present in the electrolyte. That means the sum of the individual contribution means the limiting molar conductivity of cation plus the limiting molar conductivity of the anion. The sum is the total limiting molar conductivity of the electrolyte. Clear? Generally written as lambda m 0 of any electrolyte is equal to nu positive lambda 0 positive plus nu negative lambda 0 negative. This means where nu positive and nu negative are the number of cation and number of anion. Okay, this is here, for example, the number of cation is here 1, so it is multiplied by 1 into, so we don't write here nu positive because it is 1, and here it is also number of Cl minus is also 1, so we don't write 1. So this is the nu positive and nu negative are the number of cation and number of anion. Lambda 0 positive is the limiting molar conductivity of cation and lambda 0 negative is the limiting molar conductivity of anion. Okay, so generally we can be written as lambda m0 is equal to nu positive lambda 0 positive plus nu negative lambda 0 negative. So this is the general expression. Then we can write another example, lambda m0 of calcium chloride. Calcium chloride, first you should write the ions present in calcium chloride, CaCl2. Calcium ions are Ca2 plus and 2Cl minus ions. Ca2 plus and 2Cl minus ions. So we can write, so how many Ca2 plus ions are there? 1. So 1 into nu positive means number of cation. Here number of cation is 1. So 1 into lambda 0. Here the cation is Ca2 plus nu negative means number of anions. Here the number of anions is 2 Cl minus ions 2 into lambda 0 of Cl minus ions. Another example, magnesium sulfate, lambda m0 of magnesium sulfate. We can write magnesium ionizes as Mg2 plus and SO4 2 minus. So we can write the number of cations 1, number of anion is also 1. So we can write 1 into nu positive means number of cation which is 1 into lambda 0 of here cation is Mg2 plus number of anion is here 1 into lambda 0 of anion is here sulfate ion SO4 2 minus. Okay, so this is the calculation of the limiting molar conductivity from Kohlrausch's law of independent migration of ions. So from here these examples are here. General expression, lambda m0 is equal to nu positive lambda 0 positive plus nu negative lambda 0 negative, where nu positive and nu negative are the number of cations and anions and lambda 0 positive and lambda 0 negative are the limiting molar conductivities of cation and anions. Clear? Okay, once again the Kohlrausch's law states that the limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte is equal to the sum of individual contributions of its cation and anion present in the electrolyte. Clear? Now we solve some problems related to Kohlrausch's law. So first question is, lambda m0 for NaCl, HCl and sodium acetate are 126.4, 425.9 and 91 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse respectively. Calculate the lambda m0 for acetic acid. You know acetic acid is a weak electrolyte. So by using Kohlrausch's law, we can calculate the lambda m0. So first you should write the given values. The given values are lambda m0 for NaCl. You know to write by applying this Kohlrausch's law for these equations, then lambda m0 of NaCl is equal to lambda 0 of Na plus lambda 0 of Cl minus, which is given. this NaCl 126.4 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Then lambda m04 HCl, we can write the Quadrature's law, lambda 0 of H plus lambda 0 of Cl minus, because the ions are H plus and Cl minus, which is given 425.9 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Then lambda m04 sodium acetate, the ions are CH3COO minus acetate ion and Na plus ions. So lambda 0 of Na plus ion plus lambda 0 of acetate ion CH3COO minus, which is given 91 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. Then next our question is lambda m04 acetic acid. Lambda m04 acetic acid we can written as lambda 0 of acetate ion plus lambda 0 of H plus ion, because the ions present in acetic acids are CH3COO minus and H plus. So which is we don't know. So in such type of problems, first you should identify lambda 0 of acetate values are present in the which equation. This lambda 0 of acetate is present in the third equation here. Here lambda 0 of acetate is present, and in which equation lambda 0 of H plus is present. This equation, the second one, lambda 0 of H plus is present. So we need these two equations, but in these two equations lambda 0 of H plus including but Cl minus we don't need, and in this equation we need this acetate ion lambda 0 but we don't need this lambda 0 Na plus. So this lambda 0 Na plus and lambda 0 Cl minus we don't need. So this is the first equation. So adding these two equations and subtract the first one from these two. Okay, then equation number 2 plus 3 minus 1 gives equation number 2, left side is lambda 0 H plus lambda 0 Cl minus, plus equation number 3, the left side is lambda 0 Na plus lambda 0 of acetate ion. Then minus 1, equation number 1, left side is lambda 0 Na plus minus lambda 0 Cl minus, because it is subtracted from 2 plus 3. So minus. So which is equal to, on right side, equation number 2 plus 3 minus 1. 2 right side is 425.9 plus 3 right side is 91 minus 1 right side is 126.4 Siemens centimeter square mole raised to minus 1. Then we get the value 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole raised to minus 1. So we can calculate the lambda 0. From this we can clear that lambda 0 of H plus lambda 0 of Cl minus lambda 0 of Cl minus, these can be cancelled. Lambda 0 of Na plus minus lambda 0 of Na plus can be cancelled. Then the remaining are lambda 0 of CH3COO minus plus lambda 0 of H plus. This is we need value lambda 0 of CH3COO minus plus lambda 0 of H plus, which is equal to 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse. So the limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid is equal to 390.5 Siemens centimeter square mole inverse.